Is it true Van Gogh used his own urine to make brilliant yellows? Well, let's find out as we walk in the footsteps of poor, sad Vincent. Our morning excursion is going to Auvers, Sur Oise, the last home of the artist, Vincent van Gogh. His spirit still lingers in his former attic rooms at Gogh Inn. The mere 70 days he spent here were very prolific. He painted more than 70 works here before his death. And we'll also visit the cemetery where both Vincent and his brother Theo are buried. He signed his name Vincent on the paintings because Van Gogh, he was Dutch, was almost impossible for the French to pronounce. Depiction of Vincent by a Russian painter or Russian sculptor.
Very first masterpiece by Vincent.
Very first masterpiece by Van Gogh.
Is this
Every spot that he painted a picture has a little marker that says Vincent. Vincent painted this on the same day that he killed himself, at least. He botched his suicide. He went out into a field and shot himself, but didn't die. So he managed to drag himself back to his inn and died there. Now, before 1840, if you were a painter, you had to mix your own paint and everything was done in a studio. It wasn't until 1840 that they actually invented tubes of paint, and then the painters could actually take their little palettes and their tubes and go out and paint from real life. That's basically when Impressionism began. He was 33 years old when he arrived in Paris, and he attends the Atelier of Cormon, where he meets Toulouse-Lautrec. He lived and died. And first sees Impressionism. So he transforms his palette. The stimulating but hectic pace of work absent and the passionate talk of painting exhausts Vincent, and he moves to Arles. There is a video up where we walked along the route of his paintings. On December 23rd, 1880, after a violent argument with Gogh, he cut off his left earlobe. He's treated in the hospital by a doctor who suspects epilepsy and overwork. He paints in town during the day and he sleeps in the hospital at night. Dr. Gogh was a homeopathic doctor, friend of many Impressionist painters. Talk about a bad shot. He lingered for 2 days before he actually died. And this is Vincent's room. That first room was double the price, but this was like €3 a day. This is the more expensive room of. He was basically a loser painter. He only sold one painting 6 months before he committed suicide. Hallucinations? It is beautiful here. This is a famous staircase. Vincent lived with Gogh for like 2 months. They were going to each paint the same picture in different ways. And that's, be quiet, doggy. And that's where he, after his dispute, he cut off his ear, and Gauguin came back and found Vincent in a pool of blood. In between the cutting off his ear, and shooting himself in the stomach, he tried to commit suicide again by swallowing turpentine and ink. Here are the contrasts between the two paintings, Gogh. Vincent's painting of the church originally sold for like $72 million and is now worth double. We're walking in his footsteps to the cemetery and through the meadow where he shot himself. It's the one in the middle of the field. Thought maybe it was the last one, but it was not. It was basically a panoramic painting for that age because there's 3 paths instead of just one actual. Theo died 6 months after him of syphilis, and they assumed that Vincent also had syphilis since they all shared the same partners. The absinthe, possibly he was bipolar, he heard voices, saw things. When he saw that there was cow urine in the paints, he was very, very poor. He was literally a starving artist, and he put his own urine in the yellows. Look at this grave. That's the Oise River down there. Very, very pretty.